Hiya, I'm Harry Tanguy and I'm a former police officer, retired in April after 30 years. And that was 30 years on frontline on armed response and roads policing and going to absolutely anything and everything. I just want to explain, there's been a few people talking about this Bianca Williams stop and that they feel very aggressive and that side of things. And I just want to put out there the caution of having selected video placed on the internet, because people will only show you what they want you to see, and the reasons why it's so important to see all the facts first before jumping to conclusions. Now, I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened, but I can see the procedures that have taken place with the Met there seem to be well, let's do what I would do. Right, so I see a car, and you can deny and say everyone's lying or not. Believe me, the Met are not going to purposely lie or say something that is exaggerated, because they know it's going to come out in the wash. You can't just say a fib to the public and think it's not going to come out. That's ridiculous, okay? So, if they said something that isn't true, it's because they've got the information quickly and it's been put out, and it's going to be a mess if that's the case. I personally don't think so. I think it's more likely the van is driving along and it sees the car and it contravenes a moving road traffic offence, all right? So what would I do? I would then cause it to stop. Okay, so I put my blue lights on. Now, tinted windows, there's a big thing about this. Tinted windows, whether they saw in front of the car or not, inside of the car or not, irrelevant at this stage. And then, of course, so I stop the car, but it doesn't stop. It slows maybe, or it speeds up, but it doesn't stop. And it drives for just about 20 seconds. Well, I'm just going to time out 10 seconds. Okay, so blue lights on, stop. I'm waiting for him to pull over and stop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's speeding away. 8, 9, 10. Double that. I'm concerned as a police officer now. Why has that car not stopped? So eventually it stops. I will get out of the car quickly. Now, tinted glass, I can tell you, with sun or no sun, if you're looking at that, depending on how tinted it is, even the back windows, something's going on in the back of there, and they're not opening the car. Again, I'm concerned. What are they doing? Are they hiding drugs? We'll often get people will pull over and they'll be plugging drugs. If you don't know the definition of that, you don't really want to know. Or are they actually pointing a gun at me? I have absolutely no idea. And in the Met, they're relatively common to have guns. There is gang crime and that side of things, and it's a real possibility. You don't know what's happening in that car. I want that door open as soon as I can. You need to dominate. So it is, get out of the car, get them to open the door. And this is purely if they've refused to get out the car initially. You need to get some sort of control. If you don't, believe me, you're not going to make 30 years. You're going to get it wrong. If you trust everyone, treat everyone the same, it will be procedure that they'll have followed. This is the way to deal with a car that has initially failed to stop for whatever reasons they wanted to fail to stop, and also then whilst they're in the car videoing the police officers from the inside, again, the door's not being open. You can't see clearly into cars. You can't see clearly into cars that aren't tinted very easily. So when they're tinted, that is another problem. Now, I saw that female officer acting very professionally and trying to calm the situation down, and really trying to infuse calmness onto the female behind, who was quite concerned for her child. Although the police are not going to harm children and babies, what would I have done? Even if I felt the police were stopping me constantly for no reason, if, say, that is the case, all right, I'd have stopped, I'd have pulled over, the police have pulled me over. There's a big van behind me. Nothing's going to crash into me. I'd have pulled over. I'd have probably had to accept a ticket for my my speeding offence, or my cutting a corner on the opposite side of the road, or whatever like that. Or I'd have been summoned for due care and attention, whatever. I wouldn't have argued then, and I bet you it would have passed without an issue at all. But of course things developed, and here we are. But then if I felt aggrieved, I would have made a formal complaint. And you go, oh, what's the point? What's the point? Well, the point is, they're taken very seriously. They are looked at. All the evidence is looked at. They don't say, oh, we looked into it and there's nothing. All the evidence is looked at. And then they'll check on the history of vehicles being stopped and how many times they've been stopped. And if you think it's a lot, they'll look at very seriously the objects and the grounds which are checked on each stop search. You can't just put suspicious. You have to put specific reasons. So if suddenly it seems like somebody is being stopped over and above, there'll be questions, serious questions. So I'm saying it's just not as simple as people think. I suppose my overall message would be, as emotional as it is, let's just wait until the facts come out in the wash. There's a lot of things the Met can't say. They can't just release video because there's other cars in that. And they need to make sure that the vehicles are covered and so on and so forth. They probably don't want to get into a tit-for-tat release of video and that side of things. All I'm saying is, if there's one thing I've learned in 30 years, I want to hear both sides of the stories, not just take one and let my emotions take over. I certainly support all police officers because I know what an impossible job it is. And I hope they get the support, because I think in this day and age we really, really do need support. And we need to support our police officers. That's my version, but that's only me. What do I know?